Guardians, what's going on? Ladies and gentlemen out there in the nation, your boy Sly here, back at it with another Destiny 2 video for y'all. So, let's talk Curse of Osiris. Now, one thing I have to hand Bungie is their planning and keeping their word about consistent content. With the Faction Rally, Iron Banner, the release of the PC Raid, Challenge Mode, and then here soon, we'll have another Faction Rally in Iron Banner as well. And then pretty much shortly after that, Season 2 will drop, along with it, the DLC December 5th. So they've done a good job at keeping things flowing. However, if there are more things to grind for and more incentive to play in the endgame, then all of this would have made it even more impactful. Why they changed up their endgame strategy, I still cannot for the life of me figure out, considering that Destiny's endgame is, in my opinion, what saved Destiny to begin with. Well, that, its PvP and the feel of the game, because no one kept playing Destiny to repeat the campaign, that's for damn sure. But that grind, you know, that the endgame, completing sets of exotics, armor, raid weapons, that perfect roll, that's what kept Destiny alive, like I said, at least in my opinion. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of my thoughts on the upcoming DLC and my hopes, beliefs, and fears. Now, one thing I am really excited for is that D2 is now in the hands of the live team, and we've already seen improvements to the game. The live team is pretty much what made Destiny the game it is right now, at least the original Destiny. I mean, with all that cool armor, all the quality of life improvements, etc. So, Supremacy now is already 10 times better, and that was just one simple hotfix. And with the upcoming seasons change, it promises to be even better. So to start us off, one thing that I am really excited about is that D2 is now in the hands of the live team, and they're going to be keeping Destiny going. And we've already seen improvements to the game so far. Supremacy is now 10 times better, and with the upcoming season change, it promises to be even more so. Now, the cool thing about the live team is they're pretty much what made Destiny 1 the Destiny it is today. All the quality of life improvements, all the changes to the raid with that sick armor, the weapons. I mean, they pretty much ran it from, till the end. So it's cool that they're now back in charge of D2. Now, these changes shouldn't have needed to happen to begin with. I mean, D2 was created by the same team who made Taken King, arguably the best content drop Destiny ever put out. Its endgame, its open world, the raid, story, lore, hidden collectibles, secrets, hidden areas. Did I mention secrets? I mean, all of that was absolutely spot on in the Taken King, and the community ate it up and loved it. Those unknown items that would randomly drop, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day and there's an exotic quest with some crazy puzzle at the end of it just waiting for you. I mean, there were quite a few of those. Chests out in the open world with mechanics to open them. Secret missions at the end of the game which were hard as shit to beat, but rewarded you with like one of the best guns in the game. That's the Destiny I remember, and the Destiny I was looking forward to again. If you put the Taken King and everything it had into the shoes of Destiny 2, like the feel of the weapons, the new graphics, the new subclasses, it would have been the absolute perfect game. Tokens were awesome for the first half of the game, but for the end game, not so much. Now, I could go on and on about this, but the point is, DLCs can be revolutionary. It can completely change the game as we know it. Now, will it? Well, that remains to be seen, because it took well over a year, if not years of work to create the Taken King. And the Curse of Osiris has probably been made side by side with Destiny 2, then refined in the past month or so. But now that the live team, which is the team that sustains the active game, has control and the direction of D2, Curse of Osiris has to flow with it. So I think that together, we're going to see a rebirth of Destiny 2, if you will. For better or for worse, Bungie listens to its communities, and in my opinion, sometimes a little too much so. I think it needs to put its foot down every once in a while and just make a decision and man up with it. But in any case, it knows that D2 brought a weak endgame. It knows we want dead ghosts back. It knows we want something like a Grimoire score. And it knows we want secrets, hidden chests, more boss fights in the raid, and etc. So I think this next DLC will be the starting point of getting back on track. I already bought the season pass, so I'm here for the long haul as it is, but I suspect there will be a new raid for the next DLC in the spring. I pretty much get giddy about thinking how sick a raid would be if it were war mine themed. I mean, Rasputin controlling satellites, it can hack frames to fight for it, controlling anything machine. I mean, think of the bosses or the traps it could set up in a raid. It would be awesome. But before we get too far ahead, I do have some worries. Now, even though it's awesome we're getting all of this stuff so early and so soon, my worries are that we're getting it so early and so soon. I mean, ever since Destiny launched back in 2014, and it scrapped its story and threw together whatever came out at launch, Bungie has pretty much been playing catch-up ever since. They've been behind for years, and they're always in a rush. While it might be better now, I'm worried that this tight deadline will come with time-cutting features, something that was definitely present all throughout D1. Content reuse, guys. Every DLC in the original Destiny had a few story missions, which by the way I suspect will be the same in this next one. Because what they do is they pretty much take a strike or an old area, flip it, and then build a mission through it. Every DLC had a campaign mission that was simply an old strike played in reversed. Every single one. The guns were the exact same thing as ones before, just a new name, a couple new splats of paint, changed up stats, and boom, you have yourself a new weapon. Now, it started to get better towards the end of Destiny 1, but it still happened quite frequently. Also, armor was treated pretty much in the same fashion. You take old blue armor, mix it with some old pieces from the last DLC, boom, change it to legendary, add some fur, and you are good to go. You got yourself a brand new legendary set. A mix of old content into something new, rather than designing new components. A little reuse is absolutely fine, and it helps fill the loot pool, but it started to get extremely noticeable towards the end. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because during their reveal trailer at Paris Games Week, they featured a substantial amount of old Destiny 1 exotics. There might have been 1 or 2 new exotics in that showcase, but since it was so packed with old ones, that's all we really noticed. So if they're showcasing old exotics in their DLC reveal trailer, what's that say about the content itself? That's what worries me, guys. Now, I'm not saying this DLC is going to be shit. I think it's going to be far from it. I think with the live team's changes and Season 2 arriving at the same time as the DLC, and with it a huge sandbox update and tuning, I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful. But what I'm worried is that they're going to skimp out on the essential smalls like weapons, armors, and exotics. Now, even though loot is just a small piece in comparison to bringing a new patrol zone, story missions, strikes, and raid updates, it's the first and last thing we see every time we log in. You slack off on the small things players see most, it just sets a bad tone. So that's my main concern here, y'all. Now, it's not that I'm worried about the campaign, because I know the campaign will be decent. It's going to be small, probably only like 5 or 6 missions long, but it will be good. I know the strikes have been held back and created right along with Destiny 2, so it will be big, there'll be new bosses, new locations, etc. But showcasing old exotics, and lots of them, on a reveal trailer shows me that there won't be a lot of new, unique loot to see. There will be new loot, of course there will be, but I was a proponent for a clean slate in Destiny 2. Leave all that old crap back in D1. Turns out over half of the exotic loot pool consists of old weapons and armor from the original Destiny. And they even held back some of the old ones so they could then re-release them again with this DLC. These old exotics have been re-released several times now over various DLCs. It's kind of getting old, guys, and once again, showing it off on a reveal trailer like it's a good thing, that kind of worries me about how much new loot we're going to be getting. Now, let's talk about this whole new raid content thing. So, when Bungie launches a DLC or like an expansion, they always list a new raid in a very specific way, such as new raid or like new 6-man raid, like usually in those words. This time, however, we don't see that. They say new raid content. Either way, it's only been a few months since the Leviathan came out, so getting some new content within the Leviathan is really a thing I look forward to. Now, if loot was handled differently, and they had some hidden activities within the raid, such as monitors like in the Wrath of the Machine, then it would have given this raid like 3 times the lifespan it has now. So perhaps this new content is exactly that. I don't know if y'all have noticed, but there are tons of doors within the Leviathan. Every time you open the main door in the Castellum entrance, there's large doors down each hallway that could open up to a brand new encounter, and that's what could be coming. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Besides Callus, I think they're adding new encounters behind these doors, and on top of that, changing the encounters we already have now. I believe we might actually see an 8 or 9-man raid, because if you look at the Baths encounter, there are 2 pools that have nothing in them. You could stick someone in the middle of the room like you do on Challenge, and then 1 at each one of the other pools. For dogs, we already know there's 8 flowers there, plenty of flowers and dogs to make it a 9-man activity. And then for the activity like Callus, if you look to the left when you're in the Void Room, there's a whole nother long strip that looks exactly like the one we use now. I mean, who knows, there could be 2 huge heads and 2 teams of 3 on each side. Now, I plan on making a separate video about all of this, but that's for another time. In any case, there are still a ton of things Bungie could do to give the Leviathan another life and make it interesting at the same time. So, as a closing statement, guys, I think it's going to be a good DLC, and it will refresh not only the game, but the community as well. I have a feeling endgame quests and hidden things to do are going to be a priority and being added as we speak. Add that to all of these crazy new ghost shells, these ships, sparrows, and quality of life improvements, and I know it's going to be good. I just hope they don't overdo the reuse of content. In the last game, they reused weapons and armor until they pretty much fell apart, and I hope that this new system they built so that they can create things faster is the answer to the reuse problem, because if they're showing old items returning and it gets front and center spotlight in the new trailer, I mean, what's that say about the rest? But anyways, guys, that's it for me. I just wanted to hit on a topic that some of y'all been asking me about, and I figured it'd be best answered within the video. So, I do have high hopes for the Osiris DLC, and I do think it'll be good and worth the money if you did not buy the Season Pass. Regardless of how things are now, Destiny gives me more entertainment per dollar than any other game out there. Well, besides the original Mass Effect series. But other than that, you simply cannot beat the hours played per dollar spent, at least for me. So definitely tune in this month to the Bungie live streams on Twitch. The weekly update announced the exact dates, as you see right here, of the reveal streams, and I'll have them up on my channel as well if you missed them. So definitely keep an eye out for those as November continues to draw on. But I'm out of here, y'all. As always, thank you for watching and for supporting the channel. Now, if you're new to the nation, then thank you for stopping by, and we would love to have you here with us. Subscribe for tons more D2 coverage, spank the thumbs up only if you enjoyed yourself, and comment down below if you have any questions or if you just want to say what's up. Take care, Guardians. Good things are to come, and it'll only get better with time. So keep those eyes open for more videos coming out here soon, but until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.